This video is for the Unit 1 paper, International Relations, and in this particular video I'm going to look at the 3 short questions on the paper, place the questions where you should be making quite a lot of marks very quickly. So what do you have to do? Question 1 is a 2-mark question that requires you to understand the source. There is nothing very complicated about it. Question 2 is a 4-mark question where you're asked to recall 2 points and give some supporting detail. And question 4 is a 6-mark question where you describe an event. So the first 2-marker, it's very easy. You need to find 2 reasons in a source and you'll be given 2 lines to write on. You put 1 on each of the lines. So the Soviet Union completely miscalculated its impact. I need to find evidence for that in my source. Here's my source, pause that and read it. So I found my 2 reasons. I'm not going to go for the red one. Don't make the mistake, that's basically copying out the question. That doesn't provide evidence for that statement, it is the statement. So my blue highlighted parts are the 2 pieces of evidence to support that. I would write 1 on each line. Carter tried to persuade them to leave. The USA found ways to support the Mujahideen. Those are 2 ways that show the Soviets miscalculated in Afghanistan. Okay, the 4-marker then will follow up after the 2-marker. Again, it's easy. You need to recall 2 things. The only reason you wouldn't be able to do this is because you haven't revised sufficiently and don't know what they're asking you for. Support each one of those 2 things with some specific detail for the 2nd mark. So, outline 2 steps Carter took to encourage the Soviet Union to withdraw from Afghanistan. Think of 2 things. That's your first step and that's your first 2 marks. He supplied the Mujahideen, the source just told me that, and he ordered the boycott of the Moscow Olympics. There's 2 marks straight away. Add some supporting detail to those to show that you know a bit more about them than you can just recall them. Here we go. I've shown that I know the CIA is involved in supplying the Mujahideen and I know that the weapons move through Pakistan. That's fine. That's supporting detail. And the ordering the boycott of the Moscow Olympics, I'm showing I know that the USA is not alone, that there's a whole group of countries and why they're doing it. Supporting detail again. Nice and quick, get it done, move on, save time for the later questions. So the 6th marker is a describe question where you're going to need to come up with some statements. The simple statements are worth 1 mark each, up to a maximum of 3. If you have 1 developed reason, it's 4. 2 or more developed statements is 5 or 6. So there's no point doing more than 2. You're wasting your time. So 2 developed statements. Start off, here we go, describe the key features of the INF Treaty. I'm going to think of simple points for that question. What are the key features of INF? Well, it comes after a series of negotiations. It's not like they just meet up randomly and decide it on one day. And what it actually does reduces the number of nuclear weapons superpowers have. Those are 2 key features. I don't need any more. What I need to do now is to support them with developed detail. So here's my first one. My simple point is highlighted in blue. The rest is the developed detail that I'm putting with it. I'm demonstrating I know that there were other conferences and the reasons why agreements weren't reached at those. This is relevant to the key features of the INF Treaty. Secondly, reducing the number of nuclear weapons, and I'm outlining how it's a contrast to other negotiations because this is the first one where they're actually reducing numbers rather than limiting their production. So that's a 6-marker. To recap, 2-marker, you find 2 details in a source. Nice and easy, you just read and find 2 details. 4-marker, you need to know 2 things, I need to have some precise detail to support each one. 6-marker, 2 developed statements. So these short questions you should be getting full marks provided you revise adequately and know all the events that they're going to be asking you. There's no mystery to these questions. 4 and 6 in particular, you just produce some information to you find 2 things in a source. Try and save time on them, you can do them pretty quickly and you'll need the time on the 15 and 13 marker.